Hello and welcome. My name is Ramonli and welcome to my Monster Hunter Rise guide videos. 101 guide videos, that is. On this video we are talking about gathering, one of the most basic things you can do in Monster Hunter, but also one of the most important ones. If you don't gather, you won't be progressing through the game as easily as you would if you'd gather. Gathering materials allows you to upgrade your weapons and armor pretty early on in the game, so making sure you're gathering as you're doing your quests is really important. Gathering itself is pretty easy. If you find materials such as this herb right here, just pressing B or circle will collect that item. But as this item isn't shown on the minimap on the left corner side, it is relatively difficult for you to see where should I go to gather these materials. Well, the first thing that I can tell you is most items will be placed on the gray areas. Not all of them. Some honey and bone piles might be on the ground levels as well. But most items will be placed in the grayish areas that are a bit elevated. But the most important thing you can do is actually look at your detailed map. You can open the detailed map by pressing LB. Here, as you have opened the radial menu, but on the left side you can see the detailed map a little bit closer. You can see that we have some seeds on that direction and some other things on that direction. So let's see about this seed, where it might be. Could it be up above? Well, let's go see. If I go up here, and there is an Adamant Seed right here. If this minimap option is a little bit difficult for you to use because it opens the radial menu as well, you can of course go to your options and in your game settings change the HUD map style or type into detailed map, and this way it will always stay as the detailed version, which is the close-up version. This way, however, you will not see where the monsters are specifically or where they are roaming around. So in order to use this version of the minimap really requires you to know where the monsters are and where they usually spawn in. Because of that, I always recommend that you use the general map and have the HUD map toggle type as toggle on. This way you can quickly see where those items are. Alright, let's talk about the importance of gathering materials. So as I stated, if you don't gather materials, you will not upgrade your weapons very easily. Since monsters usually don't give you items such as iron ore or bone items, especially the small monster bones or that nature. So finding out where to get certain items is very much a key process in Monster Hunter Rise. Finding honey, which automatically creates a mega potion if you have the correct materials in your pouch. If you have 10 mega potions in your pouch and you collect honey, it will just collect the honey into your pouch instead. Here we can find flash bugs. Collecting these will automatically create a flash bomb for me. But if I have 10 flash bombs, it would only collect that flash bug for me instead. You can set these things in your crafting list. In the pause menu, go to your crafting list, and on the autocraft section you can select if you want it to be autocrafted or not. The default settings are pretty good, and I highly suggest that you keep those. So, why would you spend the time gather so much? Well, one of the benefits of gathering is of course that you get to understand the layout of the map a little bit better. So spending the time to collect some unnecessary items, that's quoting unnecessary. There really isn't any unnecessary items specifically, but unique items such as mushroom colonies only give you points. Points are important, but you get so many points in the game that it probably isn't as important as you might think. However, they allow you to use the canteen and other facilities in the town area. Here is another example. Here is an ore location, mining outcrop. If I didn't gather this and didn't get these iron ores, I would not be able to upgrade my very first weapon in the game so early on. Without ever killing a single monster, I'm already able to upgrade my first weapon. That's really cool. Gathering materials such as bitter bugs might seem really redundant or meaningless in some sense. But once you understand what you can craft from those items, then you understand that they will help you with certain quests that are causing trouble to you. Bitter bugs, antidote herbs, and other trivial items like that will help you throughout your toughest missions. Good example of this is pitfall traps and shock traps. Both of these items are craftable, but if you don't have the materials to craft them, well, how do you get them then? Well, you gotta go and gather materials. Gathering materials such as spiderwebs and thunderbugs will allow you to make pitfall traps and shock traps that will help you a lot during a hunt. And using these items are really important. Even though if you look at some of the newest videos uploaded from some popular content creators, it might look like these items are not important at all. But you have to understand that certain players have been playing Monster Hunter for so long that they don't require those items anymore, and those items usually can become a hindrance than a helpful thing. But the general idea, however, in using certain items to help you throughout the hunt, such as flash bombs, are really good against monsters. Gathering also applies to small mob creatures like these Izuchis right here. There are various types of mob enemies in the game, and you can carve them up once you've killed them to get more materials. Getting an early armor set for you is really useful, and killing the mob enemies can allow you to do that. You don't need to kill a large monster in order to make your very first armor set in the game. Now, as I stated in a previous video, some quests also have you gather items, and this quest that we are on actually is one of those. On the minimap you can see these green dots sprayed around on the gray areas. As I stated, usually these quests put these green dots on elevated plateaus. So if you are doing a gathering quest, the best option you can do is actually try and climb the cliffs and hills and find the materials there. As you can see on the minimap, there are only 2 dots that are not on a cliff, and they're on the right side of the map, both of them. Everything else is on an elevated plateau, like these fire lanterns right here. And this is why the wire bug is really useful, and learning how to use the wire bug and understanding that Most Hunter Rise is about these cliffs and hills makes you a better hunter and better at gathering certain materials. That's it about gathering. I hope that you will keep gathering and finding out new materials that will help out on your future hunts. Really keep that in mind. If you're having a trouble with certain monsters, just go gather some certain materials so that you can benefit from those in that hunt. Alright, on the next video we will talk about crafting and how to usefully use the materials you have gathered in the hunts. Crafting is key and goes in tandem with gathering. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.